तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
सुरमुनिवन्दित गुणशीला
गजमुख गजमुख गणनाथा अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
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 अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
अक्षयलिंगा आत्मलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
तेजोमय विग्रहलिंगा
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका ईशा इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
इह पर सुखदायका साई इह पर सुखदायका
ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवा
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
नटराजनटनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
भवदुःखहरणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
जगदोद्धारणं सायिपादं
सुन्दरपादं सायिपादं
श्रीनिवासा वेङ्कटेश
परिपाला साईशा श्रितजन परिपाला साईशा श्रीनिवासा वेंकटेशा तिरुमलगिरिवासा गोविंदा तिरुमलगिरिवासा गोविंदा गरुड वाहन गोविंदा गोविंदा गरुड वाहन गोविंदा गोविंदा गोविंद गोविंद श्रीनिवास गोविंद 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 शिरडीवास गोविंद 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 पतिवास गोविंद 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 पतिवास गोविंद श्रीनिवास वेंकटेश श्रितजन परिपाला साईशा श्रीनिवास वेंकटेश तिरुमलगिरिवासा गोविंदा गरुड वाहन गोविंदा गोविंदा गोविंद गोविंद श्रीनिवास गोविंद 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 शिरडीवास गोविंद 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 पतिवास गोविंद 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 श्रीनिवास गोविंद 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 श्रीनिवास गोविंद 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 पतिवास गोविंद 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 पतिवास गोविंद श्रीनिवास वेंकटेश श्याम सुंदरा मदन गोपाला सच्चिदानंदा साई गोपाला हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण अजुरे नारायण श्याम सुंदरा मदन गोपाला सच्चिदानंदा साई गोपाला गोपालना गोपी गोपालना गोपी गोपालना भजरे गोपालना गोपी गोपालना गोपी गोपालना भजरे सच्चिदानंदा साई गोपाला गोपालना गोपी गोपालना गोपी गोपालना
We are all different in every way. We don't have the same facial appearance. Our bodily aromas are also different. Different voices. And these little fingerprints are different for all of us. But in this matter, we are all one. From the moment we were born, we are incessantly in search of happiness. Did anybody teach us to seek happiness? Like we were taught by parents, by teacher, by guru, my child, you should speak the truth. You should not steal others' properties. Did somebody teach us, my child, you must seek happiness? This instruction was never given. Of course, all of us have different decisions regarding where happiness lies. Mahesh thinks he will get it from corporate boardrooms, and Dinesh thinks he will get it by political positions and power and prestige, and Meena thinks she can find happiness in relationships, and Veena thinks that PhD degree will give her happiness. Everything we are doing is for the sake of that one happiness. Yet, happiness is also like that rainbow in the horizon. We keep on running after it, but it seems to keep on receding away. And that is why we need to apply ourselves to understand what are the tools and techniques for a happier life. Let's forget the entire world and focus our thoughts on the science of happiness. Happiness is such a beautiful emotion. It moistens your heart with positivity, optimism, and hope. Happy people naturally feel fulfilled with their lives and satisfied at work. So often the sense of happiness escalates to a feeling of gratitude, counting the blessings you have received, and that creates an experience of euphoria in the heart. Without happiness, even victory is not sweet. You may surround yourself with the most opulent luxuries and treasures of the world, but it doesn't fill the void inside. And even success doesn't provide delight. Thereby, happiness is like the one before all the zeros, which by its presence adds value to everything, and by its absence nullifies the value of everything in life. Yet, happiness is also like that rainbow in the horizon. We keep on running after it, but it seems to keep on receding away. Since when have we been searching for happiness? From the moment we were born. The first thing we did when we emerged in this world was to let out a slogan, "Give me happiness!" It was not a slogan in words because we did not know words when we were born. But the very first intuitive impulse of ours was to cry. But why did we cry when we were born? Because the process of birth pained us. And by crying, we expressed our innate nature. I did not come into this world for misery. I came for happiness. And from that day till today, we are incessantly in search of happiness. Of course, all of us have different decisions regarding where happiness lies. Mahesh thinks he will get it from corporate boardrooms, and Dinesh thinks he will get it by political positions and power and prestige. And Meena thinks she can find happiness in relationships, and Veena thinks that PhD degree will give her happiness. Why do you want a PhD degree? It will help me get a good job. Why do you want a good job? It will help me get money. Why do you want money? It will help me procure the things of the world. What kind of things do you want? Things to see, to touch, to smell, to hear, and to taste. So again ask, why do you want these 5 kinds of objects? Why do you wish to see movies? Why do you wish to eat delightful food? It will give me happiness, pleasure, joy, delight, bliss. Now you go and ask this series of questions to anyone in any country of the world. This chain will end at one word: happiness. Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, he understood this principle when he wrote in his book, The Nicomachean Ethics. He said, we seek honor, wealth, and prestige because they bring us happiness. But we seek happiness for itself and never with a view for anything further. 2,500 years before him, there was a philosopher in India called Ved Vyas, who had already stated, Sarvesham api bhutanam nipasvatmaiva vallabha itare patya vittadyas tadvallabha tayaivahi. He says, everything we are doing is for the sake of that one happiness. The search for happiness is not of one lifetime. The Vedic philosophy is of eternity. So since eternity, we are searching for happiness. And we must now strive to bring it to consummation, step by step by step. And that is why we need to apply ourselves to understand what are the tools and techniques for a happier life. So we will start at the starting. What are the benefits of trying to be happy? Let's inspire ourselves. Why should we want to be happier people? Well, nowadays scientists, psychologists have realized so many benefits. There's a whole industry created around happiness. So nowadays they have, happy hours in hotels, happy hours in restaurants, and even chief happiness officers in organizations whose job is to make people happier. So scientists have understood that happier people have healthier hearts. Their hearts are just more robust, and their personality is more resilient, which means when stress comes, they can bear with it better. What an important virtue to have. You don't crumble in the face of difficulties, but stand up to it if you are a happier person. In fact, happiness also boosts your immunity. Tests were done by a scientist called Sorota and his company. They would give pathogens in a pill to people and then check their immunity response via the saliva a little while later. And they would also give them a questionnaire to fill up to judge how happy they were on that day. So the same person was given the test on multiple days. Now 500 people were tested like this on multiple occasions. And amazingly, it was found the day people were happier, their immunity response was better. So when happiness makes you healthier, does it mean that happier people live longer lives? It does. One test was carried out in this regard. There's a monastery for ladies called the School Sisters of Notre Dame, where ladies join to become nuns. Now, those ladies in the monastery and who were born before the year 1917, their records, they used to maintain daily autobiographical journals. And some researchers were given access to those after they had passed away. And what they discovered was that based on the autobiographical journals, they could then judge how happy that individual was and how long that lady lived, the nun. They discovered that the happiest quartile of nuns, 90% of them crossed the age of 85. And the unhappiest quartile of nuns, only 34% of them lived beyond the age of 85. So if it is your aspiration to increase your lifespan expectancy, naturally you eat the right things, but also learn the secrets of being a happier person. So, this gives rise to one question, that supposing now we become happier, will it increase our life still? Actually, it will. There is one maverick psychologist called Ellen Langer, and she conducted this experiment in 1979. Interesting experiment. She paid people to come for the retreat. Only those people, see, if you participate in Swamiji's retreat, you have to at least pay the hotel charges, right? But she was paying people to come. The condition was that only 75-year-olds would be allowed. And they would not bring anything with them. No magazines, nothing. And when they came to the retreat center, the environment was created of 1959, 20 years ago. So the magazines were of Eisenhower, the newspaper was of the current events at that time, all to make those 75-year-olds feel as if they are 20 years in the past when they were 55 years old. So their psyche was, I'm a 55-year-old. And 3 weeks at the retreat center, at the end of it, it was discovered that on all health parameters of aging, their age had reversed. Whether it was the hand grip, it had just become 10% stronger, or it was the short-term memory, or it was the eyesight. In everything, they had started becoming younger just because they were feeling younger. So this is the impact of mind over matter. And that is what the placebo effect is based upon. You know what is a placebo? If you give a blank pill to somebody, the doctor says, this is the latest drug created by this big pharma house. It's been tested on 10,000 people and it's been shown to work every time. And saying that, the doctor gives a blank pill. The patient doesn't know. The patient thinks, I'm getting the medicine. So how much do you think would be the effectivity of such a blank pill? You would say, how can a blank pill work? Otherwise, what is the need of medicine? Well, you check it out. The world records in such tests worldwide have shown again and again and again that if any medicine is 100% effective, the placebo is 55% effective. Means the person is thinking, I am getting cured. And to 55%, the person does get cured. Baylor Medical Center in Dallas has conducted tests on the arthroscopic knee surgery. Arthroscopic knee surgery is one where they do 3 small incisions. It's a laparoscopic process, and they insert their instruments. And through those instruments, they see the knee, so they don't have to cut up the whole knee. And once the knee is examined, then they have 3 options. Either they scrape the knee clean, or they use jets to clean it, or else they do nothing and just stitch up the incisions. So this study, which was done in Dallas itself, those patients for whom they did nothing, after the surgery, they were told, oh my God, we did a tremendous job of cleaning up on your knee and you will start getting all right now. So scientifically validated that within the space of 2 years, their knee condition had recovered to a very large extent because their mind was telling them, my knee should now be functioning all right. You may say that, Swamiji, this kind of placebo effect is more like a hocus pocus. You give a blank pill and it works. Well, one scientist called Marcel Kinsborn of New York created the expectancy theory. And this scientist, he said, what happens is when you are expecting a result, your mind causes the brain to fire the neurons in consonance with your expectations. So if you are expecting, I should be getting all right, then those neurons are getting fired which are curing you. And that is how the placebo works in this world. So, the biggest confirmation of the placebo that I found was the reverse placebo. What is the reverse placebo? In placebo, you've given a blank pill, but the person is thinking, I've got the medicine. Reverse placebo, you are telling the patient, I'm giving you poison, but actually you're giving nothing. The patient is thinking, oh my God, I'm getting poison. This experiment was not allowed by the FDA of USA, it was done in Japan. Students were told that, poison ivy is such a terrible thing, we will give it to you, we will blindfold you and put it on your upper arm. So, poison ivy was not put, just ordinary paste was put. But the students thought, oh my God, I should be now getting irritation, I should be getting an allergic reaction. And in 6 out of 10 cases, that reverse placebo actually worked. It was nothing and they were thinking it was giving them poisonous effects. But an even bigger confirmation of this is the nocebo. So we now know what is the placebo and the reverse placebo. And what is the nocebo? Nocebo means you give the medicine to the patient, but don't tell the patient I've given you a medicine. Now the patient is actually getting the cure but doesn't know it. So this experiment was done in thoracic surgery. So thoracic surgery is a major operation. And when the patient comes out of that unconscious state and the effect of the painkiller subsides, then there's tremendous pain. So that is then shut out by giving the patient morphine. So some of the patients, they are told that, look, we are adding morphine to your intravenous IV and you will be all right. And they become all right. And the other patients are given the morphine but not told that they are getting it. And many of the cases it doesn't work because they don't know that they are getting this morphine. So in each of these cases, what we are experiencing is the tremendous power of the mind over the body. So what this highlights is, people think if I can become healthy, then I'll become happy. So let me become healthy and then happiness will be mine. But I am telling you the reverse. If you can become happy, you will naturally become healthier. Make sense? So the final illustration in this regard, then we'll move ahead. Dr. Alia Crum of Stanford, she is the principal researcher of their mind-body lab. I just came across her talk. And she combined with Ellen Langer, whom we met a little while ago, maverick psychologist. And they did a maverick experiment in 17 hotels. They would go and tell the hotel maids that, look, exercising is so important for health. Nowadays, scientists realize that sitting is the new smoking. If you are just doing sedentary work and not getting up, not getting exercise, it's like smoking. So the maids would say, yeah, my God, that's true. Then these two researchers would say, do you do any exercise in the day? And the maids would say, where, madam, we don't get any time, we are so busy. So they would take half the maids and they would show them how all the exercise they were getting through their household work. All the mopping and the sweeping and the vacuuming and lifting of laundry, etc. It was a complete full body exercise. So those maids realized, wow, I'm getting so much of exercise. Now they checked their physicals after 3 months. The half who realized that they're getting so much of exercise in their professional work, their health started improving. Their waists became trimmer, their body mass index improved, their cholesterol went down, etc., etc. And the other just remained as they were. It was again a case of the mind impacting the body. And this is true not only for health, it is also true in your profession.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Sathya Sai Hare, Bhakta Jana Samrakshak, Bhakta Jana Samrakshak, Bhakti Maheshwara, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Shashi Bhagana Shri Kala, Sarva Pranapati, Swami Sarva Pranapati, Ashrita Kalpaladika, Ashrita Kalpaladika, Apadvandava, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Mata Pita Guru Daivam, Mariyantayunive, Swami Mariyantayunive, Nada Brahma Jagannatha, Nada Brahma Jagannatha, Nagendra Shayana, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Omkara Rupa Jai Sai Mahadeva, Sathya Sai Mahadeva, Mangala Harati Antuko, Mangala Harati Antuko, Mandara Giridhari, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Narayana शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।